Oh my gosh, is this work? Oh, okay, it's working. Okay. Oh my gosh, this was such a struggle to start. This is my first live video, so I'm just like, I had to enable all this stuff and yeah. So I'm here. I made it. Oh, let me go on Instagram. Oh, this is so different. Okay, live. Start live video. I was checking my connection. I'm live. Oh, I am live. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. Hey, Giselle. All right. Hey, Insta. We're telling your followers that you started a live video. Oh, wow. Okay. Go right ahead and do that. Okay. Okay. Well, I figured I get started because it's 8:04 and I was supposed to start 4 minutes ago, but I was trying to figure out how to do this whole live video thing. And I should probably look at the camera and not at the screen. So I said that I would answer some questions about pharmacy, my faith, just all of that. And I think my glasses are glaring, so I'm gonna take them off. Yeah, so I figured that I would just answer questions that I came up with. And if y'all have questions, then you can just join in and comment and ask me something and I will be sure to answer it. So yeah, I'm a little nervous for whatever reason. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm live to the world. All right, so this is a question that I want to address that a lot of people have been asking me about. A lot of people have been talking about it. And so I was just like, then we're going to talk about it today. So it's the whole thing of why are people telling me not to do pharmacy? So back I want to say 8-10 years ago, pharmacy was on and popping. Like people would graduate from pharmacy school and then all of a sudden they have a job. They have jobs even before graduating, even before passing their boards. They would get advances, they would get cars, they would get houses. Like the stuff that pharmacists would tell me, I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So then what happened was a whole bunch of pharmacy schools just popped up out of nowhere. So they started pumping out a whole bunch of pharmacists and the business started to become saturated. And also there were also, mom and pop pharmacies or pharmacies that were from people that just independent pharmacies, what they're called. I couldn't remember the name. There were independent pharmacies. And then all of a sudden, those were being bought out by big companies like CVS, Rite Aid, all that stuff. And then now we're here where it's you have a whole bunch of pharmacy students graduating and there's not a lot of jobs. But I think what people don't realize is that pharmacy is evolving and that hospitals and even retail pharmacies are really trying new things and implementing pharmacists in ways like never before. So jobs are opening up, in my opinion, but that might be I think so. Oh, there's a question. Hey, I'm trying to keep my faith as an upcoming senior undergrad, but I'm starting to feel like my chances of getting into pharmacy school are slim. How do I keep the faith? Girl, let me tell you, I honestly shouldn't even be in pharmacy school. And I think just even looking back on how everything went down, I was just it really was God. And I think you have to get to a point where you have to understand that this life isn't yours. And you have to understand that God has the right plans for you. And I know if you're anything like me, I'm very need to do everything on my own. I need to make sure I have all the requirements. If the school says they need this, I need that. And above all of that, and not realizing that if God has no plans for me to go there, then I'm not going there, even if I have the requirements or not. So I think in terms of like keeping faith, you just have to get to a point where you understand and you realize that you have no other choice. When you understand that there is no other choice but to trust God, your life really becomes like, it's like a burden has been lifted off of your shoulder, because you get to a point where you realize like, oh, you know, I actually could sit and worry about this, or I actually could be freaking out. I actually could be scared or losing hope, or I can just hope and trust in God and knowing that everything's going to be okay. Now, I know this is really hard, especially when it's like you feel like you don't have the necessary requirements to get into pharmacy school, or you feel like there aren't, there's not enough resources for you to get in, or you haven't done enough, or you feel like you're not good enough. I think sometimes you have to understand that everything is not based off of your timing. Even if you plan to go to pharmacy school, did you say you're senior in undergrad? Yeah, in college, maybe, you know, God doesn't want you to do it immediately, but, you know, at some point you absolutely will if he shared that in your heart. And it's just a matter of trusting him, because you never know. He might want you to be doing something else for a year or for a semester or what have you. But what I always say is like the ultimate goal is that you are going to become a pharmacist, and your timeline is not God's timeline. So if you feel like, oh, right now, like my chances are very slim, then like understand that God is going to do it. It's like regardless of what your chances are, God breaks rules for his children. So don't feel like, oh, well, society and the standards say this, but I'm like here. Who cares? Like, God doesn't care. Like, God is the one who has created you, has created the plans for your life, and no one is stopping that, or no one is going to get in the way of that. So in terms of having faith, I feel like I just kind of like ranted on with this. I feel like in terms of having faith, you really have to just trust it and know that God is going to do it. And if you continuously like say in your mind like, oh, I don't have the requirements, or oh, I can't get in, or then it's just like, are you really trusting God? Because it's like, I know sometimes we say we're trusting God, but then our doubts are saying otherwise. And it's just like, no, you got to be all in, like wholeheartedly in it. Like, I'm going to trust God, and I know that he has good things planned for me. So I need to trust him. So having faith it's a constant thing you have to do. You have to constantly practice it. You have to constantly, every morning when you wake up, say, no, I'm not going to let those thoughts tell me that I can't do it, because I know that God can do it. Honestly, you can't do it, but God can do it. So, honestly, just always stay encouraged. Read your word, pray, and talk to friends and family who can constantly instill that truth in you and reminding you that God's going to do it. So it's not always our timing, but it's his timing. Because honestly, I wanted to take a year off after I graduated. But I was just like, you know what, let me apply to 2 schools, and then I got in. So, because I didn't think that I was good enough either. I was going to take a year off and take classes and stuff, but here I am. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, how many years of school have you done already? Since you want to be a pharmacist, and I'm a junior in high school, and I also want to be a pharmacist. So I just finished my 2nd year of pharmacy school, and I still can't believe it because time is going by so fast. So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Insta. I'm here. I'm like looking on my computer, and like Instagram's right here. But let me finish this question. I just finished my 2nd year, and pharmacy school is 4 years. If you do like, that's the PharmD portion. I feel like it gets really confusing because there are some 6-year programs. But if you are a junior in high school and you want to go straight into pharmacy, then you can apply to pharmacy schools that are 6-year programs. And you literally just do like 6 years straight. 2 years is basically like your undergrad, and then you go into your 3rd year, and that's when you officially start the PharmD program. But I did 4 years at another college, and now and then I transferred into the 3rd year, right? 3rd year. It's always so confusing, but that's how that works. So yeah, apply in high school. I didn't even know pharmacy was a thing you can do straight out of high school. And if I did, I probably still wouldn't have changed my route because I feel like I had a great college experience. And yeah, but honestly though, to just make things move faster, I probably would have done it out of high school. So yeah. Okay, Insta, there's a question. Oh my gosh, I'm like super excited. Like, you guys are asking questions. I'm not sure I understand this question. Praying God in out of religion is possible? Praying to God without religion. Oh, okay. Your question is praying to God without religion possible? So I think the word religion can get really tricky at times. I feel like religion is like a set of rules that you follow. Like, I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm religious, because I feel like that's just like rules. But I would say like I have a relationship with God and I have proclaimed him as my Lord and Savior. And based off of that, like, I choose to follow him, follow his teachings in the Bible, and really just have that relationship with him and go to church to have that fellowship and to continue to grow in my faith. So I don't say I'm religious. You know, I have a relationship with God and I proclaim Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. So in terms of praying to God without religion, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to get too technical, yeah, because really if you're following religion, it's like you're doing, okay, I have to do it this way. I have to say it this way. I have to do it this way. And it's not like that. If you consider God your Lord and Savior, and if he's your friend, then you just want to talk to him and be like, hey, God, so today was a rough day. Today was difficult. And yeah, so yeah, but like, I don't know the depth of your question, but if you feel like you have been praying to God and it's been genuine, you probably have and really been reaching out and seeking him. But like I said, religion, just the word religion can get really technical and tricky. But in my opinion, I have a relationship with Jesus, and I pray and I talk to him as if he's my best friend. Well, because he is. So, was there... Okay, I think those are all the questions that came up so far. Let me know if I'm answering your questions, guys. Like, I want to make sure that, like, I am saying everything, like, answering them right, make sure they're clear. Don't feel bad if I don't and say, you didn't answer my question. I'll be like, oh, okay. Let me try to rephrase what I just said then. All right. Okay, I don't see any more questions, so I'm gonna go to my list of questions, and when I get another question, I'll answer it. Okay, so since I have been talking about my faith, I'll answer one of these questions. What's the hardest part of being a Christian? Everything. No. I would say definitely the hardest part for me is, I think that like, that's always hard for me every single day. I was just having to wake up and being like, Danny, say, you don't control your life. You don't own your life. Like, stop giving into your desires. You know, stop trying to take control of everything. Like, I can be a little OCD about my life and just everything, and then realizing that, like, God has created me to be his masterpiece, and I need to follow him, follow his direction, and just trust that he has the best plans for my life. Like, I you know, there's no question about it. But I feel like every day I'll be like, I know God wants me to do this, but I want to do this. And yeah, so I think it's really hard sometimes to just really just constantly die to my flesh and understand that he really is the author and creator of my life, and allow him to lead and direct and to take full control. And this is even like in pharmacy school, like it's hard sometimes because I feel like I'm not good enough, or I feel like I'm not smart enough, like in comparison to my classmates sometimes. And it's just like, God is just like, oh, like I already showed this girl, like I got her in. She just finished her second year. Like what is there to feel like you're not good enough? And I think it's always constantly having to remind myself, like, hey, like you're not doing this. It's God who's doing this. So you have to trust and believe that you're gonna get through, and stop comparing yourself. I think comparison is seriously like, it's just bad. No, but like just of comparing yourself and looking at other students and thinking like, oh, like if only I could be as smart as them, if only I can study like them, if only I can retain information like them. Like, you know, like as long as you're getting through and as long as you are doing it, like you don't need to worry or stress or feel like you're not gonna make it through, but just trust and believe that God is bringing you through. And I think that's also the hard thing of being a Christian and being a pharmacy student, of just understanding like, hey, God is gonna bring you through this. So just trust and believe that everything is gonna be okay. And that's also like, I titled this video, "Is Pharmacy Still Worth It?" Because I think a lot of people feel like that the pharmacy career is saturated, and I alluded to this in the first part of this video, but like a lot of people think the pharmacy career is so saturated, but like I was saying, like there are like new things coming out in terms of like what the pharmacist's role is going to entail, and I most definitely think it's worth it. I think that like regardless of what time frame we're in, we're always gonna need a pharmacist. Like just working in a hospital and even seeing how much the pharmacists do in terms of like, even if it's like correcting physician mistakes that we find on doing like our med racks, and like really just like seeing at how much of a difference they're making, like literally saving lives. Like if patients are on duplicate therapy, taking them off of that, like seriously. And I think a lot of people are just looking at, oh no. Sorry. Hey.
It's Michaela. Are you busy with anything?
Yes, I am actually. I'm sorry.
No worries at all. I just knew you were here and I figured I'd pop in and say hi.
Oh, hey. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I'll see you later.
Happened. Sorry, I'm sorry, my phone rang. So I'm like trying to like go back to live video on Insta if you're on Insta. Okay. I'm just gonna have to end it and then restart it. I don't know how to do this. Okay, let me go back. Okay, let me try to add it again. I'm sorry, y'all. Start live video. Okay. I'm back. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So a lot of people don't realize like there are still opportunities in pharmacy, and I think it's still worth it because it's just like if you look at the stats, if you look at the stuff happening now, of course you're gonna be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do pharmacy. Of course you're gonna be like, oh well, it's not worth it. And then next thing you know, 5 years from now, pharmacy is on and popping, and then you're gonna be like, man, I really should have followed my dreams. No, follow your dreams now. Like, don't wait until society is like, oh, actually, this is a good field to be in now, so do it. Like, I'm sorry, I get really passionate about that. Like, it's follow your dreams. Don't follow what people are telling you is good. Don't follow what people are telling you is expanding or what's big and what's popular. Like, no, like at the end of the day, you're gonna be the one working every single day. So do what you love. Like, that's it. So that's why I feel like pharmacy is still worth it. Because I want to be a pharmacist, because I'm passionate about it, because that's what I like to do. I love studying drugs. I love working with the patients, and it's just probably one of my favorite things to do. So, yeah. So I think pharmacy is definitely still worth it, and you should follow your dreams. I get some comments on some of my videos regarding pharmacy, like, oh, like, you're not smart for doing that. And it's just like what? Like, people are really bold, but I honestly don't let it get to me. But like, I just don't want like any of you who like come across my channel, if you see comments like that, to discourage you from doing pharmacy. Like, no, like, do it because you want to do it. Like, don't feel like just because people are saying that it's not a good career that you don't need to still follow it. Yeah. Okay. Another question. Thank you for answering my question. I honestly look up to you and just been watching your videos. Honestly, you're an amazing person. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, you guys seriously like make me blush. Okay. Another question that I had, well, not question, but another thing I want to talk about is, do I have to do a residency if I want to work in hospital pharmacy? And this is big. Like, honestly, my school has been pushing this so much about doing a residency, and I feel like so many people talk about this. Even like where I work, people are just like, oh yeah, like you should do a residency. And I'm just like, man, like after 8 years of school, like you want me to work another 1 to 2 years for like literally like a lot less, like not even half of like what you're making. It probably is around half of what you're making, of what you would make as a pharmacist. And yeah, I don't know, guys. Like, I'm not sure if I want to do a residency. Because, not saying that like it's too hard, even though I have heard some are pretty hard, but like I just don't know. Like, I definitely want to do hospital pharmacy, and I definitely am interested in hospital pharmacy, but the stakes are a little high. And I feel like the only reason why it's a little harder to get into a residency is because of the fact that there aren't that many, and it's like really so it's a little popular and a little saturated. So it's like you have to have like amazing stats, and you also have to like know people. But you know, I don't know. What do you all think? Do y'all think like you have to do a residency? For any of you, if you're watching, who are in pharmacy school or who have heard about pharmacy and heard about residencies, or maybe none of y'all have heard about residencies, but what do y'all think? Like, do you think you have to do it? Because from what I'm hearing, yes, you do. And then also I'm hearing is like, no, you don't. Like, if you have the right connections, then you're good. And one girl kind of made this comparison that I think would become like, you know, like how people have their PharmD, and then some people have just their bachelor's in pharmacy, and they're still able to practice because they're registered pharmacists. I feel like just those two distinctions, because I remember I worked with a pharmacist who was who just had her degree in pharmacology or pharmacy or something, and then she took the board exam and she became a registered pharmacist. So I was just like, oh, okay. So there's still individuals who are practicing who don't have their PharmD. And I feel like, I don't know if 10 years from now, if it's going to be like that. If it's like, oh, I have my PharmD and a residency. And it's going to be like, oh, well, I have my PharmD. But I don't know, I'm not going to stress over it too much, because I know that like at the end of the day, God is going to like place me where I need to be, and he'll do it. So if I'm supposed to do one, he'll do it. But in terms of like getting a job, sometimes that is a little scary for me. Of just like, oh well, do I still need to do a residency if I want to do hospital pharmacy, which is what I want to do so far. I haven't gone on all of my rotations yet, so I still have a lot of other pharmacy careers to look at. You always say the right things to motivate me. Love your videos. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You all seriously are like, so that's why I call y'all my family. Like, y'all encourage me, motivate me, and just build me up in such kind words, and I love it. I love it. I seriously thank God for all of y'all. Like, seriously, y'all are seriously amazing. Come with questions, y'all. Let me see if there's any on Insta. I'm sorry I had to restart the Instagram live video. Like, I got a call and I don't know how to, I can't stop that because I can't put my phone on airplane mode and then it's just there. All right, so let me go back to my questions that I have. So I have a sticky note on my computer, so if I'm looking over here, that's why. What's the hardest part of pharmacy school? The hardest part of pharmacy school I would have to be is memorizing the drug side effects. For whatever reason, I can never remember which side effects are for what, the counseling points, like all that stuff. And it's like, it's not like the worst thing in the world because that's something that you can always like look up. And like, as you like work with drugs more and more, then you will begin to know and you'll begin to understand it a little better. But like, I struggle so much with understanding because like, I feel like literally almost every drug causes nausea and vomiting. But like on exams, like they test you on like the most random side effect. And I'm just like, okay, was this for this one drug or for this drug? And I'm just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I know some people have asked me like if there's a lot of memorizing in pharmacy. Yes and no. I'm not the biggest fan of memorizing because I'm not good at it. So what I do is like I study mechanism of action. So like if I know how a drug works in the body, I'm able to remember it. Like no questions asked. Like I can remember that drug. And that's how I remember the drugs. And that is better than memorizing because when you memorize, you walk out of that exam room and it's already like coming out of your brain. It's like slowly like just vanishing away. And so that's why I'm just like, yeah, memorizing isn't the best thing to do. And I would just like know the mechanism of action. Like if you can like sit and study how a drug works in the body, then you're gonna be able to not forget that drug. Like, do I have a paper here? No, I probably don't have one of mine. I think I put everything in my car. But I would pretty much, oh yeah, okay. Don't be scared of this, but this is like an example of like how, like, so this was like antibiotics, but yeah. So if you can like understand like how a drug works, then you're good. You don't have to memorize. Okay, that one looks scary. Let me see if there's something else. Not scaring y'all. Okay. So this literally says mechanism of action. And then I have all my notes on it from class. And then pretty much like talk about how the drug works. And if I know that, then I don't need to worry about memorizing. But granted, there will be times when you do have to memorize like brand the generic, but literally just drill it over and over. And if you work in a pharmacy, then most times you'll see a lot of those drugs anyway, and you won't struggle too much with having to memorize brand and generic. So yes and no, there is a lot of memorizing in pharmacy school, and there also, it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to struggle. You can be all right without having to memorize. This is a question that I actually got on my Snapchat. And this is more of a faith-based question since I've been talking about pharmacy a little while. And this question was like in regards to, I wrote it down. How do I get past lust and my flesh? I'm having a really hard time and I don't know what to do anymore. I think that, like, especially like as a young person, like dealing with lust can be really hard, especially since we live in a world that's like so focused on that and just so consumed by a lot of just everything is just over sexualized, like everything, like the music, the TV shows, the movies, like everything has sex, and you're just like, how am I supposed to be dealing with my lust? And it's just right in front of me. So I think this is where a lot of like being grounded, having willpower, like staying in your word can really help. Like I was watching someone else, I don't know if any of you know Joseph Solomon. I was watching one of his live stream videos because I really admire his work. And he was saying how every time like his brain tries to like fall into lust or something like that, he like a song would just pop into his head like real quick, like singing this song. And he said he was just like, it will not leave him. And I was just like, that's legitimately true. Like sometimes, you know, every time we're faced with lust or we're faced with temptation, God provides us a way out. And it's a matter of if we choose to take that route or if we don't. And it's just like, you know, for him, it was like the song popped in your head. And sometimes for you, it may be like something doesn't work right. Or it may be like that scene on TV switches to a commercial. And it's just like, now you know you have the choice to change the channel or do something else. Are you going to do it or not? And I think it's just like really understanding that that's something that you have to do. You have to really be grounded, like literally fleeing from sexual sin, like the Bible says. And I think that one of the things like sometimes when it comes to dying to our flesh and dealing with sin and dealing with lust and trying to get through that as a Christian, we forget that, like, you know, some of that, you know, is from us. Like, we have to take active steps to do it. Sorry, I could not like form the words. This is what happens when I record videos, y'all. Like, this is a real, like, behind the scenes. Like, I stumble on my words. Like, my videos would be like 40 minutes long and it's like a 10-minute video. But anyway, but yeah, you have to take active steps to really get past it and really be like, all right, so this is presented to me. What I'm about to do is change the channel. What I'm about to do is get that thought out of my mind. What I'm about to do is watch a sermon on YouTube. What I'm about to do is to play one of Be His Masterpieces videos. You have to play my video, I'm just saying. But just do something to really just shift the direction and don't let it manifest in your heart and in your brain. Some are okay, some are not okay. Like, some struggle, some don't. Like, there you go. We're back. It paused for some reason. It's in my connection. All right. But yeah, some people struggle with certain music. Some people don't. Like, if you're listening to a song that's talking about sex all the time, and you'll fall into your flesh, like you'll fall into lust. So really just be mindful of what you allow into your heart, into your mind, into your thoughts. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's easy. I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh yeah, like to get out of your flesh, all you need to do is this. It's something that you have to practice every single day, like of constantly being like, no, today I'm not going to do this. And there are going to be times when you do fall, when you don't, like, you know, take that path that God has given you to get out of it. But understand that we're humans, so we're going to mess up and we're going to make mistakes. And that's why repentance, forgiveness, and grace is there for us. But like, I think a lot of times people get confused with the word grace and forgiveness and just like, oh, well, I'm a Christian, so God is going to forgive me. God has already forgiven me. I just need to repent. So I can constantly sin over and over and just repent and be like, I'm good. God and I are Gucci. This thing keeps pausing. I'm sorry, y'all, on Insta. It just keeps pausing because of connectivity. But you can join on YouTube, if anything. I don't know. But it's working now. So, but yeah, don't fall into that of just like, oh, I'm just gonna purposely keep falling just because I know that God will forgive me. You're honestly at that point, you're not even seeking true repentance because you already have made up in your mind that you can continue to do it again. So your repentance is not genuine, in my opinion. So don't ever get to that point of just like, oh, well, I can just continuously mess up and God got me, so whatever. Like, no, like, don't, like, are you trying to get out of your sin? Like, keep trying. Like, don't just feel like, oh, because God, forgiveness is there, that I can just keep messing up purpose. Hey, love. Hey, girl. How's it going? Yeah, I'm trying to see, are there any other questions? Okay, I get questions all the time on Facebook. And I was on, no, not Facebook, on YouTube. And when I have a live video, when I can just be straight up front, like answer your question head on, there aren't that many. But I'll just keep answering the questions that I have written, so that way you guys can have it. How old are you? I am 24 years old. Turned 24 on January 15th. It's my birthday. And yeah, I feel a little old because next year I'm going to be 25. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys remember like when you were younger, you would tell yourself, oh yeah, like in your 20s, I was gonna, be married. I was gonna be this, have my children. And you're like, skirt. Like, no. Are you dating? No, I'm not dating. I'm just not at the point where I want to date. Like, I feel like I'm not emotionally at a place where I should be dating, because I just won't be all in. I'm not in the right headspace, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm not dating anyone. And I personally don't really want to right now. I really just want to finish school and just be focused. I'm not saying that being in a relationship will be a distraction, because I am a focused girl overall, so ain't nobody stopping me from that. But yeah, but I say all this, and then next thing you know, God be like, actually, I want you with this person right now. And it'll be like, so really just waiting on God. But just right now, I personally just feel like I'm not in the right headspace to date. Okay, let me look up these other questions that I had. Okay, what was the best part of pharmacy school so far? I think that my favorite part of pharmacy school was just, I don't know, I feel like learning about how certain drugs work. I think that's my favorite part of every single class, like the pathophysiology, or the physiology. Yeah, the physiology of like how certain drugs work, how they operate in the body. Like, as soon as I swallow this pill, what is it doing? I think that interests me a lot. That's always my favorite part of class, of like learning that portion. And then when we do like the what's it called? The like the side effects and like all that stuff, that part is where it gets hard. And I'm like, so I would say my favorite part is learning about the different drugs and how they work in the body. And I will say that I also enjoy lab sometimes. Lab is always a struggle for me, but I can't lie. Like, it really does give me good insight into like what pharmacy is like, what it will be like in the field. And I think that's something that I don't always appreciate in the moment, but looking back, I'm like, wow, like that really helped. That really prepared me. And yeah, honestly, building friendships and the people that I've met, like my roommates are amazing, and just building those friendships and stuff really helped a lot. Oh, some questions. Are you great at chemistry? Because a majority of pharmacy is chemistry. I took chemistry 6 years ago. I took it my first year of undergrad, and I didn't like it. And truth be told, I'm just saying that because when everyone, I get this question a lot actually, and this should be something that I talk about in depth. You don't get that much chemistry like that. Like you really don't. Unless you're starting like in the 6-year program, like chemistry is a requirement to get into pharmacy school. But after that, like the chemistry that you saw in your chemistry class is not what you're going to be seeing in pharmacy school. Like, it's not, trust me, because I was a little scared about that too. I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to need to review chemistry? Am I going to need to review organic chemistry? Like, what's going to happen? And no, you don't need chemistry that much. Like, you really don't. Even like in the notes that I showed, like, the only chemistry that you like really need to know is just like, oh, like you would think like, oh my gosh, Donicia, this is all chemistry. But the only thing that he was basically showing was just like, oh, this drug has a OH, this drug has a fluorine. And so if it has fluorine, it can stain the body longer, or it can do whatever it is longer. But that's literally it. Like, that's it. And they teach you that. So don't feel like your chemistry skills are going to need to be A1 in order to survive pharmacy school. Because trust me, I haven't taken it 6 years ago, and I didn't even like it 6 years ago. So I don't remember it. And I've been getting through. So I'll let you know if more chemistry comes up. But at the moment, like, you don't have to be stellar at chemistry. You don't need to be perfect. You'll be fine. At the end of the day, trust God. Like, he got you. Like, you're going to be more than okay. Are you in any organizations? Like ASHP. Yes and no. I encourage all of you, if any of you are starting pharmacy school, if any of you are interested in going to pharmacy school, definitely join. APHA, I think, is another one. Stuff like that. See, the reason why I say yes and no is because I like go to the meetings, like when they have free pizza and stuff. But like, in terms of if I'm officially like joined, if I've like signed the paperwork, if I've done all the stuff, no. But I plan to next year, because I know how important it is to be a part of those organizations in terms of networking and really like knowing all that stuff. So next year, hold me accountable. Ask me this question again, and I better say yes. And if I'm not, tell me to get it together. But I am a part of the Christian group that we have on campus. I genuinely enjoy it. I'm on the e-board, and we meet up every like other week or so and just have some worship, Bible study, fellowship with one another. And yeah. Oh, hey, Insta. Hey. Who said hey? But yeah, no, I enjoy doing that. But in terms of like the professional organizations I'm not a part of, but I need to do better. I'm gonna do it next year. It's okay. I'm not an active member. Yeah. I don't know that if that many students are active members. Like you do have like the hardcore students who are like, yeah, like I'm part of this club, I'm president of this club, and this, that, and the third. And I'm so basic. Like I just go to class and go to work. And but I think it's fine because I even know a girl who works at my job and she wasn't part of anything. She's not even doing a residency. She just graduated and she already has a job at the hospital. So it's not needed. It looks good, but it's not needed. And I don't know, is like the professional organizations at pharmacy school, is it similar to like an undergrad, like you would go to like one club meeting and then like on your resume you would put member, because sometimes they didn't have any requirements for you to do that, so you would just that's what I did. But no, that's a good question. I think all of you should join an organization at your pharmacy school, especially the professional ones, because it looks good, and some of them give you pins for your white coat, so that's a plus. Okay, some other questions that I have. Was it hard adjusting to pharmacy school from undergrad? Ooh, I'm saying ooh, like I wrote this question down because I remember getting that question a lot. Yes, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie. For those of you who are starting pharmacy school in the fall, if you're coming from another college, it can be hard depending on how like the school was and depending on how you studied. Like you thought you knew how to study until you go to pharmacy school, and then the first exam slaps you in the face and you're like, oh, I actually don't. And it's all right though, because they have resources available to you to really do better, to really understand what's happening, and to just know that it's going to be okay. Like I got through it. And if I got through it, you can get through it. So don't feel like that adjusting period is too hard, because it's not. You'll be able to get through it. Yeah, I think the hardest part was just changing my study habits, because if you're doing something for 4 years, like you're going to think like, oh, well, I've been doing it for 4 years, so it's going to work. No, it's a totally different playing field. So don't think that you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to adjust. So don't let that scare you, but just know that there will be an adjusting period that you'll have to get used to, and that's okay. You'll be fine. Just trust God. Literally, like, trust God with everything. Luckily in Jamaica, I don't have to go through undergrad, pharmacy to undergrad. Yeah, that's great. And that's how some of the programs are here too. It's literally you start out of high school, so that's really good. Yeah, like, cause like the people who started out of high school, when they were taking the pharmacy classes, like they were fine. Like the rigor of the courses were just like, oh, this is what we're used to, and I was like, not what I'm used to. So yeah. All right, so like I'll talk about another faith-based question, and this is something that I've personally dealt with. Of when, like, what do you do when you don't feel God anymore? And I feel like as Christians, this comes up a lot, of just like when you feel like your relationship with him has become stagnant and you feel like you don't hear God anymore, you don't feel God anymore, and you just feel like your journey as a Christian is just not going anywhere. You just feel like this process is just like, you know, was good. Like, God, I don't hear you and stuff. I've definitely been there, of feeling like you know, it was just like feeling like God left me. It was just like he was gone. And I was just like, oh, snap. What you do in that situation is you continue to pray. I know it may seem redundant, or I know it may feel like you already have been doing that, but really just continue to pray. And I think what we forget a lot of the times is that, like, as Christians, like, reading our word is God talking to us and speaking to us. And if we feel like we don't hear him or feel him, literally just open up the Bible and there he is right there talking to you. So don't ever get to a point where you feel like or don't believe the lies in your head that God isn't listening, or God isn't talking to you, or God isn't there, because he's always there. It's just a matter of how present are you. You know, oftentimes whenever I feel like God isn't there, I kind of take a look back and be like, okay, well, how often have you been spending time with him? Okay, well, how often have you been praying? Okay, well, how is your prayer time? Like, what's the quality of your prayer time? And if I'm just like, to every single one of those questions, then you best believe that's probably why you feel like you haven't heard from God, is because the connection that you've had, you've unplugged it. You know, you literally unplugged it, and you're holding the source in your hand and just got to plug back in and reach out to him, talk to him. And there you go. Like, I think that's a start, especially when you feel like God isn't there and God isn't listening. That's like the start of getting back to that place with him. And sometimes we always want to get back to a certain place with God, and instead of realizing that, hey, you know, God wants us to always go higher and further. Like, God always requires more. We're always learning. We're always going deeper in him. And it's just like, so don't always try to go back to what you're used to, but try to move forward and see God in a different way, and learn in a different way, do different things, and really just don't be so used to the idea of trying to go back to, you know, that relationship that you had. Like, none of y'all probably would go back to your ex, right? I hope not. I hope not. I don't know what the situation is, but we usually don't move backwards, but we move forward. So don't always try to go back to that relationship that you had with him, but move forward, go higher, go deeper, really know him differently. Like, his love is just so vast and beautiful, and there's so much to him, and there's so much to learn. So don't go back to those same scriptures, but learn new scripture. Don't, you know, pray at, like, okay, I used to pray like every day at like 5 p.m. or something. Like, pray more times in the day. Like, don't feel like you just have to do that one time just to try to get back. You know, God could very well be pushing you to higher heights with him. And it takes having to sometimes feel like he's not there in order for you to go deeper, to really hear his voice and understand what it is that he has for your life. I'm sorry, Insta. I know I've been looking at the YouTube one more than this one, but I've been looking if y'all had questions, and y'all haven't had questions. So questions have been on YouTube. So y'all lit over here. Any more questions from anyone? Whatever you want to know about me, about pharmacy, about faith, life. Ask away. Like, yeah, there's no question that I don't have a problem answering. And yeah, I do have some more questions on my little sticky note over here. Okay, so let's talk money. So, how much is pharmacy school? It's expensive. That's what it is. Oh my gosh. I go to a private school, and so tuition's around $41,000 a year. So it costs a lot of money. But Yeah. How I pay for it. So you're on a scholarship. I'm actually not on a scholarship, but I do have like some like financial aid stuff and like also some like government loans. Thankfully, I don't have to take out too many private loans because I know once you're snatched by Sallie Mae, you're snatched forever. So, and for those of you who don't know, Sallie Mae is like a popular private loan company that people get their loans from, but it just takes forever and a day to pay them off. But yeah, especially this year, I'm considered a grad student all of a sudden now, even though I've been a grad student for a while. But in my opinion, but according to like how it is in the system, like now I'm a grad student. So this year I'll get a little bit more in terms of, they even gave me like a work study. I was like, oh, that's more money. That's great. But yeah, but when I graduate, I'm definitely gonna be in a lot of debt. That's a fact. But my goal is to really just kind of live at home for 3 years and just pay it off in lump sums. Like, you know, live like I'm currently living. Like right now, I don't make that much money. So if I continue to live the same lifestyle that I'm living with not much, then when I am making a pharmacist salary, you know, I can really just put all that money towards paying back my loans. And my goal definitely is to do it in 3 years. Ooh, excuse me. To do it in 3 years, nothing less than that. No, nothing more than that. Less will be great. But live at home for 3 years and pay off my loans and then start my life. Like, I think that's my plan. But you know the saying, man plans and God laughs. Like, you would have thought you were gonna do that, but who knows? God could pay it off in a month or two. Like, who knows? I got a thumbs up from someone. Yeah, you agree. That's right. Are you planning to open your own pharmacy in the future? I thought about it. I definitely thought about it for a while, but I don't think I want to. I'm very like, my mind is always going like a million miles per minute. And I just kind of think of like different things. I'm always thinking about, okay, this is already what's happening now, but what could you do that's different? I remember I was talking to the director of pharmacy at the hospital that I worked at last summer, and she was telling me, she's like, you should start your own pharmacy. Like, it would be great. She started her own pharmacy, and she was like telling me about some of the stuff that she did, that it was different. Like, they did all these different fun and innovative things. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. Like, in terms of like I don't know, like in terms of like opening a pharmacy, I don't know if I want to do that. I kind of want to be more vast in my career and in what I do. Like, I want to really do something different. So not just open up a pharmacy, but kind of impact other pharmacies in what I do. Like, I don't know, be an entrepreneur as a pharmacist, if that makes sense. But like, I don't know, I really want to, this probably sounds so crazy. I'm like, what is she talking about? But I don't know, I want to be able to go around to different pharmacies, hospitals, and kind of just like improve it, enhance it, make it better, implement new things to make it work better, you know, expand the jobs in pharmacy, like, you know, allow individuals to know that pharmacists do a lot more than what they think. Like, people literally think that pharmacists just stand behind a counter and count pills. Do you really think we would have to go to school for 4 whole years just to do that? Not even 4 years, 6 to 8 years just to do that. No. So I think that spreading more knowledge about the pharmacy career to individuals, to those who are in the healthcare field, to know like, hey, pharmacists can do a lot more, and expanding on that. So going around it and really doing that. I like to talk. I like to share knowledge. So working in that aspect of pharmacy is kind of what I see myself doing, being a representative of somewhere or something. I don't know. I'm just speaking it and see what happens. So, yes, our plans take backseat in God's plan. So we plan pointlessly, to be honest. That's true. That's so true. That's right. Yeah, that's definitely it. Have you always wanted to become a pharmacist? Nope. My original plan was to become a pediatrician. I wanted to be a pediatrician when I was younger, and not really even knowing why. I think because I went to the pediatrician when I was younger, and I was like, oh, like, I want to do that. Like, okay. And then when getting to college and kind of in junior year, I was like sitting on the floor of my room, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm literally crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I realized my love for drugs and my love for medicine, not for like drugs, but like my love for medicine, and understanding that like I enjoy this, you know. An old friend of mine pointed it out to me, like, you know, you used to always like tell your friends and your classmates, like if they would like get sick, like, oh, like you should do this, and this, that, and the third. And it just shows that my love for medicine definitely was always there, and I just didn't even realize it. And then the summer after, so like summer after my junior year, I worked at a pharmaceutical research institute, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then I was like, okay, I'm applying to pharmacy school, and I'm going to do this. And here I am, about to start my third year in the fall. So, yeah. Yeah, girl. Like, I was so, like, adamant about becoming a pediatrician. And I was like, no, this is not what I want to do anymore. So now I'm here and answering all of you guys' questions, because you all are seriously amazing. Are there any? Oh no, there's no questions on Insta Live. And let me see.
Where are you?
Oh, hey.
Are you doing your little thing still?
Yeah, I'm still doing my live video.
You said to 9.
I know, I did. Hey guys, say hi to my roommate.
Hi, say hello. Wait, people really see us?
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, I don't know where to look. It's bright in here.
This is my roommate, y'all. Yeah, I'm just answering questions on live video. So this is like out to the world.
Oh my god, that's so cool. So these are all to you?
Yeah. Yeah. She's laughing at the "Are you dating?" question. She knows I'm very single and that I'm not even looking to date. Yeah. Y'all already know the deal. But no, yeah, I am pretty much done. There aren't any more questions, right, y'all? If you have any more questions, this is the time to ask any last minute questions that you have. Because yes, she is. She is.
Well, I rushed home from work.
Okay, girl, I'm almost done.
I'll change.
Okay. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. I don't have any more questions to talk about or any topics to talk about. So, but I can answer any last minute questions if you guys want. Is your roommate doing pharmacy too? Oh, she actually is doing her master's in pharmacology. So she's being a boss, getting her master's, and she graduates next May. So yeah, it's awesome. Are you still working at the hospital? Yes, that's why I'm at my school now, is because I'm still working at the hospital. So I stayed here so that I can work and get that money, because if I went home, I wasn't going to be working at the hospital I worked at last year. But at least here I can still work during the school year, and I can get some money this summer. So, and I'm taking a class this summer. I'm taking nephrology. So, yeah, so I was just like, okay, you know what? Might as well stay. My roommate's here, so it's not like I'm alone. So it worked out perfectly. But yeah, I love working at the hospital. Like I can't even, like, I've been working 8-hour days this week and I love it. Like it goes by so fast and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like I seriously love it. And that's why I hope to be in hospital pharmacy or something of that sort when I graduate. So let's pray that that happens. But like I keep saying, wherever God leads is where I'll go. So yeah. Any other questions? Okay, Instagram Live is like struggling. Pause due to poor connection. I don't know what to do about that. That's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that. I have internet. I don't know. That's weird. How is hospital pharmacy different than community? I feel like in hospital pharmacy, you don't deal with like the stress of like so many scripts coming at you at once and having the pressure to fill it immediately. Like I worked in a pharmacy and it was like it would go red if you didn't fill it immediately, and it was like, oh my gosh, like your boss would get on you because their boss is getting on them, and it was just so much stress in my opinion. Like everything is moving so fast and you're standing on your feet, so your feet hurt and you're tired. And that just wasn't the lifestyle I wanted to live. Like just literally the stress. It was really stressful. Where at hospital pharmacy, it's a little not as stressful, at least from my experience. Like basically like what I do is like we still get scripts because I'm in the outpatient pharmacy. So we still get scripts, but we don't have to like fill them as fast. And my job also is to do medication reconciliation. I don't know why I couldn't say it. And basically that is where we like double check the meds that the patient was on when they were home and making sure that we have the accurate list. And then when they're discharged, we make sure that they're going home on the stuff that they were on before coming in and counseling them if there were any updates. Yeah, so that's pretty much like the difference. And like talking to the patient, and really just like having that interaction where I can like go to their, like we work in the ER. So like I'll go in the room, hey, like I'm a pharmacy intern. I'm here just to get an accurate list of the medications that you're currently taking. Do you have a list or can we go through that? Like talking with them, hearing all these great stories. And I really like that. But last year I wasn't doing that. Last year I was more so just filling the Pyxis on each floor of the hospital. And that was pretty cool too, because I got to really like see the drugs a little bit more, interact with more of the staff, like the nurses and stuff. So I really like that. So yeah, I feel like in hospital pharmacy, you have a lot more freedom and leeway to do like all these cool things that you actually learn in like the classroom. Whereas in retail, at least the retail that I've experienced, I only worked in retail for like 6 months, something like that. And my store was just really busy, hectic, and crazy, and I didn't like it. So that was just me. That was me. But I know people have completely different experiences in retail. But my thing is why can't I sit down? You're literally standing for like 8 hours straight, and that hurts. But I'm not trying to discourage any of you from doing retail pharmacy. Just like I didn't find it that fun, or I just didn't really like it too much. So that's me. Any other questions? I'm currently doing my community rotation. Oh, congratulations. Nice. I remember doing mine last summer. And honestly, I don't like it, but I was just wondering how hospital pharmacy is. Yeah. I mean, last year when I did my community rotation, it actually wasn't bad because it was in a grocery store. So it wasn't as fast paced and stressful, but the whole standing and all that stuff, like, this wasn't my favorite thing. Yeah, hospital, in my opinion, is a lot better. I don't know how your school works, but I remember after the first year that summer, we did our community rotation. And then after like our second year, we do our hospital pharmacy, like our institutional pharmacy rotation, which I'll be doing on June 25th is when I start. So you'll be doing it soon. So you'll definitely get experience at that. And so look forward to it. I think you'll like it. If community is not really a thing right now, I think you'll like hospital pharmacy. And there's still so many other pharmacies for you to see. Again, I don't know how your school operates, but like your last year, we do 7 different rotations for 6 weeks at a time. So that's your chance to really try out different pharmacy. Like it's not just, it's not so black and white of like community and hospital. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much more to pharmacy. So I hope you find your niche. Any other questions? I'm sorry, Instagram Live, like it didn't work. It just closed out on me. And I was like, nope. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? I'm here to answer these questions. I'm here to talk to y'all because y'all are amazing. Okay. Well, I definitely am going to do this again. I think this was really fun. Oh, there's a question. How do you balance pharmacy school and personal life? I'm still working on that. No, I'm just joking. Make a schedule. Make a schedule. I like to have a big calendar, and I have all my exams. I have everything in there, but I also have like a little planner, and I'm like, all right, so today I'm gonna wake up at 7 a.m. Well, 6:30. Go to the gym by 7. Come back, shower, eat breakfast. Go to the library. Watch class online because class was online. I'm gonna study till like 2 o'clock. Eat lunch, then go to work, and then when I come back from work, I'm gonna do an assignment. Like, you have to really budget your time. You really have to be so diligent about how you spend your time. And if you follow it, if you stay grounded and if you follow it, you're gonna be fine. So then that way, like on the weekends, like usually like Friday nights, I don't do anything work related, like school related. I really just try to like stay focused. To relax, and like whether it be like ordering in from like my favorite restaurant, or it be like just going to get my nails done. Like I got my nails done today. Or if it's even, I don't know, me, because if I'm not relaxed and happy, I'm not gonna do well in school. So that's the best thing I can say. Schedule. And you'll be all right. You'll really be fine. And make a realistic schedule. Don't be like, okay, today I'm gonna study for 10 hours. You're not. I mean, sometimes I have, but that's because I was cramming. But if you spread it out right, you don't have to cram. You don't have to stress yourself out like that. But yeah, make a realistic schedule. Like, if you want to take a 3-hour nap, take a 3-hour nap. Just put it in the schedule. And that's it. Thank you. I'm starting pharmacy school soon, and I'm really nervous. Oh, congratulations. Don't be nervous. I was nervous too, and it was fine. Just like really stay focused. Utilize the resources that they give you, like peer tutoring. office hours. Do those things. Like, it'll really help, especially the peer tutoring. Like, I've had some great tutors who really were like, listen, this is what you got to do for this class. Because they took the class and they did well. So they know how to succeed. So ask them, utilize them. They're your resource. So don't be nervous. You'll be fine. Are you starting out of high school, or are you starting from like another like school? I'm interested in knowing. Rafika. Yes. Are you starting from high school? I'll wait till you respond. I think it lags a little bit on here. And I hope I didn't say your name weird. I did my, okay, so just like me. Oh my gosh, we're like twins. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of an adjustment, definitely. But don't be scared. Just really ahead of time schedule tutoring. Study every day, especially in the beginning, and really know what works for you. And you'll be fine. And ask me any questions if you ever need any help or anything like that. So that's nice. And congrats to all of y'all who got into pharmacy school and who are starting in the fall. Congratulations. For those of you who are still waiting to hear back, don't worry, because y'all, when I tell you 2016, I did not get accepted into pharmacy school until June 2nd. So meanwhile, like, I'm seeing like pictures of people who are graduating from like my old college. Listen, I was standing in front of my graduating class giving a speech. And I was basically saying, like, you know, like, follow your dreams, trust that everything's going to be okay. Meanwhile, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, snap, I haven't heard back from any pharmacy school. I was waitlisted at one school. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to be taking a year off or something. And which I didn't mind. Like, I was up for it. And then I got the call for the interview, and I didn't get it until June 2nd. So there's still hope out there. So don't even worry about it if you haven't heard back. So yeah, so that's just some encouragement for y'all to keep going if you feel like things are not going how you'd like. And like I always say, God's timetable is not always our timetable. So just trust him and he'll take care of you. Yeah. Okay, I think those are all the questions. I think I'm not seeing any questions on here or on Instagram. So it's so weird that my Instagram is not loading. But yeah, okay, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. So I'm going to end it here. Seriously, thank you all so much for doing this, for joining this live video with me and asking such great questions. I seriously appreciate it. With how well this went, I'm definitely going to do it again. So do not worry if you feel like you missed it. If you are watching this after the fact, don't worry, it's going to be fine. I will post this so that individuals who missed it can watch it. And thank you. Like I said, I'm going to do this again. I don't know when, but if you did like it, just, I don't know. Can you like this? Can you give it a thumbs up or comment? If you can, do that. And I'll know to definitely do this again and to answer your questions. So again, thank you. So when is the next live stream? That's up to y'all. I like this. I can do this every week if y'all want. But I don't know. Hopefully soon. And I will announce it ahead of time. I was just always scared to do a live stream because I felt like it was just going to be me, like just by myself. And that's it. which pharmacy school do you go to? I always get this question, and just for privacy reasons, this is just the internet. I don't share that. I know I always feel terrible, but I just don't share it just for privacy reasons. Like, this is the internet. I just chat in thoughts. We can chat, can talk, have a good time. I'm like stalling because I don't want to miss anyone's question. Like, I don't want you guys to miss out. But if you do, then you can save it for the next one. So that's it. Y'all already know the deal. Well, I don't know if you can comment below, but if you have any other questions that you did not want to ask publicly, you can email me at behismasterpiece@gmail.com. I love reading your emails. You guys are seriously amazing. So you can email me, you can comment below, you can DM me on Instagram or Snapchat. Follow my Instagram and Snapchat. My Instagram is behismasterpiece, and my Snapchat is B, not like with the E, so just the letter B and then his masterpiece, and you should find me that way. So that's it. Thank you again for joining. I love y'all seriously like crazy. Go out, be great, be kind, be caring, be loving, and as always, be his masterpiece. Bye, y'all.